Good morning, I am Giovanni Carmine Costabile, and today I will talk to you about Lúthien's dance of love embodied. Today I dance the ancestral dance of love. Today the ancestral dance of love is all there is. It is love that got us here, and love that will take us there. Today is the day. Today is Camilla Still Larsen. Dance again for me, barefooted on the green. Dance, Lúthien. For not us ever were thou made for, but the whirling of thy skirt and the hair of thy glance, the unfurling of thy smooth hair, and each little step taken by thy tender feet. Dance again, like Herodias, Miriam, the Sulamite. Dance again, please, and tread upon my heart. A fool, I did not know that so much I could suffer my own joy. Giovanni Carmine Costabile. And never was a merry word since a fairies left dancing. John Selden. To me, the body says what words cannot. I believe that dance was the first art. Dance is the language of the soul, of the body, and it's partly the language that we don't want to show. Martha Graham. In the Acts of John, an apocryphal text, an apocryphal Christian text, one reads that Jesus danced with the disciples before the crucifixion, and he sang as he danced, Grace danced, I would pipe, dance you all, Amen. The number 8 singeth praise with us, Amen. The number 12 danceth on high, Amen. The all on high at parting are dancing, Amen. Whoso danceth not, knoweth not what come to pass, Amen. Also, in the Old Testament, one reads how King David danced before the Arch of the Covenant, and in Jeff Buckley's outstanding song Hallelujah, the rockstar refers to this passage in connection with King David's love for the Bathsheba and Samson's love for Delilah, which are compared to the musician's own experience. The lyrics say, well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. A beauty and the amulet overthrew you. And she broke your throne and she cut your hair. But remember when I moved in you and the holy dove was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah. This song is actually the cover by Jeff Buckley of the song by the same title by Leonard Cohen. However, dance in mainstream Christianity is associated with sex and as such is not celebrated, even though the Inklings praise dance as sacred and in a Christian sense. For example, in the article by Peter Shackle, published in 1996 in Myth Lore, the author observes how Lewis tried to establish the mythology of the cosmic dance, whereas Charles Williams talked about the created dance, which was the same as the everlasting dance in which everything takes part. Tom Shippey talks about the word glamour that is associated by Tolkien with the dance of Beren and Lúthien in the woods. And he says that this word in modern times has come to be even more closely associated with sex, especially with the female sexual attraction at a distance. So he thought that Tolkien would hate this word because the new sense raises the old usage in Sargavan and the Green Knight, meaning mirth or merriment. And in the Oxford English Dictionary, one found it associated with Walter Scott, meaning magic, enchantment, spell, especially in the phrase to cast a glamour over one. But this last sense, cited by Shippey, is evidently associated with sex and fascination in a sexual sense. So, in the array of the children of Urim, as I was anticipating, Tolkien qualifies Beren Lúthien's dance as glamour. And the word is used in the sense of romantic infatuation twice in his letter to his son Michael about marriage and sex, and in On Fairy Stories, Tolkien mentions the glamour of elfen. In this light, it can be seen how all the usages that Tolkien makes of this word can be associated with sex and sexual fascination. The word glamour is also associated with Ershin and the elven fascination, also with sexual body parts like the breast of a fair lady in the Gawain and the Green Knight. And Tolkien also mentions body parts, although rarely, like when Lúthien's breast is mentioned as the resting place of Beren's head upon the first mutual acceptance in Leolation 809, and the Fertia Murin Serlonfal is described as a shining arena at the distance of her sheen, shown as gold wire, in a text that, according to Saunders, employs striking realism in the depiction of her eroticized body. Lúthien's hair instead is dark, like her mother Marian's, but it is equally fair and associated with light, although in its darkness being described as darker and finer than the most delicate threads of twilight in the Book of Lost Tales. Although one can explain it by the dense setting, much focus is placed on Lúthien's feet, like he's riding over hemlock cumbles and cold grass under bright moonlight in the Lay of Leighton. More specifically. Um, the feet can be taken as representing the female lower body, as they are its only part being mentioned, although there are a few exceptions like Lúthien's and Ared's sneeze in the later Recommence and the Owen sneeze in the Lord of the Rings. Also, Aragorn and Arwen plight their throats and showed upon undying grass with Aragorn and about their feet in carrying Amleth in the Lord of the Rings, and often feature especially euphemisms for the sexual parts in the episode of Queen Languet, the adulteress, reported by Joyce in the Monk of Furnace in the Acta Santorum. The Queen is told by St. Cantigar not to repeat her sin and thereafter restrain her feet from another such fall. End quote. Professional dancer Martha Graham writes, think of the magic of the foot, a comparatively small, upon which your weight rests. It's a miracle and a dentist celebration of that miracle. End quote. Emanuele Levinassi, in his book Totality and Infinity, develops this phenomenology of eros, explaining how in the erotic experience one encounters an epiphany of the love, since the feminine is not added to an object and the Tao, antecedently given or encountered in the neuter, and the epiphany of the beloved is but one with a regime of tenderness. In this light, it is possible to consider as instances of erotic epiphany, in a sense, Lúthien's first appearance to Beren in Doriath, a dance song before Morgoth in Angband, and a song before Mandos in the Halls of Awaiting. In this sense, Lúthien is entitled to be considered as a goddess, even the goddess, the one to whom all other gods bow. In the Silmarillion, one finds dance and song associated, in Lúthien's case, as there came a time near dawn on the eve of spring, and Lúthien danced upon a green hill, and suddenly she began to sing. Her song was as keen and as piercing as the song of the lark that rises from the gates of the night, and pours its voice among the dying stars, seeing the sun behind the wants of the world. And the song of Lúthien released the bonds of winter, and the frozen waters spoke, and flowers sprang from the cold earth where her feet had passed. End quote. One can see how, starting from the Book of Lost Tales, ending with the latest versions of the Tale of Beren and Lúthien, one finds that the focus on dance is replaced by focus on singing. For example, the ending of the tale in the Book of Lost Tales says, those twain departed hand in hand, they fared together through the northern woods, and oftentimes they were seen dancing magic dances down the hills, and their name became heard far and wide in the Book of Lost Tales. And long ago they passed away in the forest singing sorrowless, in the Song of Beren and Lúthien sung by Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings. Clare Moore writes, we analyze the chants from dance to song by examining the shift in the Tolkien's language, noting that the ratio between song-related words and dance-related words shifts dramatically between versions, with a 4:1 song-dance ratio in the Lay compared to a 16:1 ratio in the chapter 19 of the Silmarillion. Gerald Tolkien dramatically begins to prioritize song over dance. However, Clare Moore argues that the change of focus from dance to song empowers women, um, whereas I would say that the embodied nature of dance and the association with the female sex allow the celebration of dance to represent the empowerment of women as women, whereas Clare Moore would say that the empowerment of women takes place through their being considered as people, and being considered as people would not be empowerment because they would be considered as people who have the flaw of being women, whereas if they are celebrated as women, the true empowerment takes place. Martha Graham states many times I hear the phrase dance of life. It is an expression that touches me deeply, for the instrument to which the dance speaks is also the instrument through which life is lived, the human body. And in the same interview, which she further adds, the body shaped this to be honored and in time trusted. The movement becomes clean, precise, eloquent, truthful. Movement never lies. It is a barometer telling the state of the soul's weather to all who can read it. This might be called the law of the dancer's life, the law which governs the other aspects. Furthermore, in another interview, she said, that body in nature is godly. I use the words gods and goddesses principally, I think, to mean beautiful bodies, bodies that are absolute instruments. And also Charles Baudelaire says, dance can reveal all that is mysterious in music, and it has the additional merit of being human and palpable. Dance is poetry with arms and legs. It is matter, precious, terrible, animated, embellished by movements. End quote. In John Selden's Table Talk, one finds the character of a young girl um, being brought forth in her acceptance of her female nature and of her body, because she says she asks her mother when her marriage was done if she should go to bed presently. No, says her mother, you must stay first, and then to bed, mother. No, you must dance after dinner, and then to bed, mother. No, you must go to supper, and then to bed, mother, etc., etc., etc. Famous dancer Gene Kelly in this respect said that you dance love, you dance joy, and you dance dreams. And the outstanding contemporary fantasy author Amelia Todd wrote, declaring a personal fondness for belly dance on her Goodreads personal profile, stated that in a society that worships love, freedom, and beauty, dance is sacred. Even more pointedly, the popular independent alternative singer Ellie in a 2001 interview declared that love is a lot like dancing. Summon Kid, a feminist author, recounts her first experience coming to terms with the female nature of God or goddess. Took place on the beach when another woman was playing a Native American drum, and the other women were dancing in the water on the beach. And she came to feel their sense of feminine celebration rising, and they looked to her like mermaids in what can be considered as an epiphany as well. Gay Chani talks about body wisdom. As she said, body wisdom is an incredible gift and resource to all of us, but it's primarily women who tune into its availability or are willing to quietly listen to allow the movement to inform us. Unfortunately, men are so focused on making things happen, making themselves jump hurdles, vampire and get one more client for the firm, there's seldom a one special one willing to put it all aside to see what else is there. Basically, this is Mary Whitehouse. There is the unconscious fear of the body itself, that the emotions are rooted in their body. While women know dancing as the meaning of the body, as the manifesting of feeling, men often shy away from both. For her who creates out of her body, allowing movement to come forth is quite natural, but for him it is actually experienced as submissive, uncomfortable, and definitely not masculine. And Linda Caruso Haviland talks about the double-edged sword of the consideration of dance in the university as well in that world. And she said, although there were large impediments to scholarly research generated by the nature of dance and performance, it is the intimate connection of the art form to both women and embodiedness, despite Sparshot's claim, which continues, in the opinion of many, to compromise it as an area of serious academic or artistic consideration within an arts and humanities curriculum. However, the designation of dance as a female art and the commitment which many women made to its development have also assisted in the creation of programs and the achievement of leadership roles. End quote. And Baines, in her treatment of the bullet, The Sleeping Beauty by Tchaikovsky, observes how the couple made by Princess Aurora and Prince Desiree represents the ideal married couple insofar as they complement each other in mutual support, and they are interdependent in their independence, because their union allows them both to express themselves freely, also on their own, whereas together they reach sexual ecstasy. And Lucy Garet, the Belgian feminist, claims that dance can also be metaphorical, because she talks about the dance of difference, which makes the female body into a metaphor, hiding the differences into proportions, functions, relations that cannot reveal the parts of the female body, or even the only parts of the male body which they represent, which is the phallus, and so they hide the womb and the vagina. The same problem with sexism is present in one of Tolkien's letters when he says that Lúthien is a mere maiden, contrasting it with an elf for royalty, which is another definition of elves that he makes. And also he claims that it is only with the help of Lúthien that all the armies and warriors have failed, but it is Beren's achievement. At least by reading this sentence, it seems that it is Beren the hero, whereas it is obvious to anyone who reads the tale that it is Lúthien who is the true heroine. And in the shaping of Middle-earth, one finds the drafts of the Quentas Silmarillion, wherein Lúthien goes to Mandos in her body, in her physical body, meaning that it is possible to empower women in her body nature, whereas the fact that Tolkien left this version only in the draft mean that by erasing women's body, one cannot empower them, but only diminish their importance. And it is possible to consider a resuscitation by song to be common in words of rebirth and coming back from the dead, whereas the dance is rare, but there is the lost dance of the Native Americans, and also the dance of resurrection in Indian literature. So Lúthien could conceivably have also danced before Mandos, even if no indication is given in the text. In Native American myths and legends, the ghost dance is particularly popular, and so it is possible, since Tolkien loved Native Americans, that he came into touch with this notion and could have used to make Lúthien dance before Mandos in some lost version which has not been preserved to us. Thanks.